Age is just a number. Or at least most of us want to believe that our biological age has nothing to do with our choices, preferences, and new relationships we experiment with throughout our lives. It's natural for people to be in relationships of different kinds within their age groups. And because they have a lot in common and share different interests and hobbies, it makes sense that people choose to be around others that they can interact with while sharing memories of their past. This is especially true for couples. Marriages between people of the same age and social status have a better chance of surviving than those with huge age gaps and different social circles. Financial status of each party also plays a huge role, as well as physical appearance and visual compatibility. Most people will consider these issues before committing to a relationship. This is to avoid future problems as a result of conflict of interest between the two parties. Men and women have distinct characteristics that could potentially be the cause for misunderstanding in a relationship. And the additional differences in other aspects of their lives can create a toxic environment, leading to separation and divorce. But there are many couples in the world that, despite their differences, stay together, and sometimes their relationships are taboo, proving that love is indeed blind. It may not be uncommon to see odd couples every now and then, but the couples we're about to share with you are for sure going to raise your eyebrows, and some you may find hard not to judge. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos that we upload every single day. The Reptilian couple. Gabriela and Victor Peralta are an unusual couple who are obsessed with transforming their bodies into canvases with the most bizarre artwork that cover most of their skin. Among them are 50 piercings, 11 body implants, 5 dental implants, and more painful procedures that had earned them the name the Reptilian couple and the title the couple with most body modifications. And even though this might seem a bit extreme for most of us, the couple seem to enjoy the transformation and their newfound fame, which is also making them some extra cash, which we're guessing they'll spend on more artwork done on their bodies to complete their transformation. And whether they did this for the fame and money or not, they have now completely altered their look and are unrecognizable from their old self and are branded as one of the oddest couples that ever existed. Married to himself. Ever wondered what it would be like to be married to someone who shared all your interests and hobbies and had the same goals and dreams? That would be a match made in heaven, and also unrealistic. But for this 43-year-old Chinese man, he found a way to land someone identical to him in every way. And no, he did not clone himself. Instead, he decided to fall in love with a cardboard copy of himself and put a ring on it. And he did so by exchanging vows with his better half in a cardboard while rocking a traditional Chinese wedding gown. Most of us will spend years looking for Mr. Perfect or the perfect girl and settle for less for fear of being alone for the rest of our lives, or because it's virtually impossible to find our twin out there in the world. But for this determined man, settling with someone so different from him was unacceptable. 8 decades of wedded bliss. If you are ever in doubt of the existence and longevity of true love, look no further than Zelmira and Herbert Fisher, who stayed together for over 8 decades. Their marriage withstood the Great Depression, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and many marital issues that caused many couples to separate at some point. Married on May 13, 1924, this amazing couple hold the Guinness World Record for the longest married couple. And for the shocking divorce rates of recent decades and the normalization of short-lived relationships, this kind of love stories that stood the test of time could give us a fresh perspective on love and marriage. And even though the whole idea and nature of a traditional marriage don't exist in the same way they were in the past, many relationships could be saved by the simple act of give and take that these couples say helped their long marriage. Hairiest guy and his love. They say love is blind. And when it comes to Yu Xinhuan, world's hairiest man and his woman, this theory is proved as they stand to be one of the most unlikely couple in the world. Yu suffers from a rare condition that covers 96% of his body with hair. And this rare condition has landed him an acting career that started when he was just 7. He acted in many dramas, including the popular Journey to the West TV series that helped him grow his popularity, especially in his native China. That's why many are skeptical about how genuine Mrs. Yu is when it comes to their relationship. At first glance, many judge that this relationship is fake and is only an act for the spotlight. But the lovebirds say their loving displays are real and from the heart. Married to the Eiffel Tower. In 2008, Erica, a former soldier, said she fell madly in love with the Eiffel Tower. Who could blame her? Paris is said to be the city of love, and this ex-US Army soldier went big on this promise. The woman married the Eiffel Tower, and even though she was previously in love with a human, she decided to settle with a gorgeous Parisian landmark which she claims to be the love of her life. Anne says that she likes that she has control over this relationship and that the object will not let her down. Doctors say she's one of a handful of people around the world that suffer from a disease that makes people fall in love with inanimate objects. Erica, now Erica Eiffel, is not blind to her condition, and she blames her tumultuous upbringing but says she's made peace with it and is happy with her life. And as crazy as it might sound for the average person, Erica has found enormous support and love from people all over the world. Sugar Mama and her boy toy. Kyle Jones and his girlfriend, 60 years his senior, have one of the most bizarre relationships in the world. Marjorie McCool looks like a typical granny spending time with her grandson, but instead she's an extreme cougar who's dating a man 6 decades younger than her. And even if you're not the kind to judge, you'll find this relationship too hard not to. Normally, when you see this type of relationships, mostly between a younger girl and an elderly man, you find that the man is loaded and has no prenup with his young bride. But in the case of Marjorie, there isn't a fortune awaiting Kyle to enjoy in the future. And whether this is love or some sick game, the couple described their relationship as much better than most young couple relationships. Allergic to our husband. This has to be the most challenging marital issue yet. Joanne from Minneapolis seems to have developed a rare immune disorder that forces her to stay away from her own husband. She cannot even be in the same space as her spouse, Scott, who triggers her allergy that's potentially life-threatening. As a result, Joanne is unable to kiss or hold her husband and is even forced to watch TV and do other activities inside her house in a separate room that will keep her at a safe distance from him. The couple are literally unable to physically share their life, and even though Joanne is also allergic to a list of other things, among them her loved ones, it is especially hard to deal with her body's negative reaction to her husband, which resulted in her being confined to an attic in their home, except for the time she's to visit the hospital. And despite an impossible situation, the couple seem to keep their vows of till death do us part. A teenager and her centenarian husband. There is no possible way that the 17-year-old was in any way attracted to her 112-year-old husband, who says that she's the love of his life. Mohammed Dori says he used his experience of 5 previous wives, whom he had 13 children with, to convince Safiya to marry him. They married in a huge ceremony which was attended by hundreds of people. And Mr. Dori assured everyone that he did not force his teenage bride and that she's very happy to be with him. Even though that doesn't sound convincing coming from him, the family of the bride also confirmed that Safiya is very happy with her new husband in an attempt to put a positive spin on a marriage that's beyond bizarre, even for the small village that still practices child marriage. Tallest man and his bride. At 8 feet and 3 inches, Sultan Kosen is the tallest man in the world. And landing a woman who saw beyond his physical appearance was not easy. But his life changed once he was recognized by the Guinness World Records as the tallest man. He not only found the perfect woman and married her, he also received a life-saving free surgery to stop his growth. Merv Debo, the wife of the tallest man, said that she had everyone tell her not to marry him because of his height. But she says she fell in love with him and his height doesn't bother her at all. And they got married in a beautiful ceremony in Turkey, attended by friends and family, including high-ranking officials of the country. At the wedding, Merv, who's not necessarily a short woman, though beautiful, looked positively tiny as her exceptionally tall husband towered over her. Sultan later jokingly said that it was unfortunate he couldn't find a woman his size, but said that he's made the perfect woman in his average size bride. The real-life Ken and Barbie. This couple spent over $150,000 in an attempt to become real-life Barbie and Ken. Together, they went on a mission to become the perfect specimens and achieve the ultimate beauty through dangerous and painful procedures that left them bloody and bruised for the better half of their time spent sculpting themselves. Anastasia Rescos and Quentin Dehar don't seem to care for each other's natural looks, and are rather focused on their perfect version they can create together through the help of some doctors and their unwavering determination to transform themselves into the perfect doll-like living couple. And whether this was love or not, they seem to have convinced each other that they were not enough as they were and went on a painful journey together to reach their goals. Don't forget to share your ideas down in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell for our daily content, and thanks for watching.